An 18-year-old princess celebrating the most important birthday of her life, the day she officially becomes an adult in the eyes of the law and her nation. Yet she's nowhere near her family, nowhere near the grand halls of the palace that has been her home since birth, and nowhere near the spotlight that should rightfully be hers on such a momentous occasion. This isn't a fairy tale gone wrong. This is the shocking reality of Princess Sofia of Spain, the youngest daughter of King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, whose recent 18th birthday has exposed uncomfortable truths about one of Europe's most prestigious monarchies that palace officials would rather keep buried behind golden gates and carefully crafted press releases. Before we dive deep into this royal mystery that has Spain buzzing and royal watchers around the world demanding answers, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we're bringing you exclusive insights into royal families that mainstream media won't touch. And don't forget to share this video with anyone who loves uncovering the truth behind carefully maintained public images, and drop a comment below telling us what you think is really happening with Princess Sofia because your perspective matters in unraveling this complex situation. The Spanish royal family has always maintained an image of unity and strength, carefully choreographed appearances designed to show a modern monarchy in perfect harmony, but Princess Sofia's 18th birthday has shattered that illusion in ways that no amount of public relations expertise can repair. While her older sister Princess Leonor, the heir to the Spanish throne, has received extensive media coverage, elaborate ceremonies marking every milestone in her journey toward eventually becoming queen, and constant public acknowledgement of her importance to Spain's future, Sofia has been relegated to the shadows, treated as little more than an afterthought in the grand narrative of Spanish royalty, and her 18th birthday became the ultimate symbol of this institutional neglect. When Princess Leonor turned 18, Spain witnessed spectacular celebrations that dominated news cycles for weeks, official portraits released to international media, formal ceremonies attended by dignitaries and foreign royals, speeches highlighting her significance to the nation's future, and endless coverage analyzing every detail of her coming-of-age milestone. The contrast with Sofia's experience couldn't be more stark or more telling about her position within the family hierarchy, because while Leonor's 18th birthday was treated as a national event worthy of grand celebration, Sofia's milestone passed with barely a whisper from official channels, minimal media presence, and most shockingly, physical separation from the very family that should have been surrounding her with love and support on this crucial day. Reports confirm that Princess Sofia spent her 18th birthday away from the Spanish royal family, not by choice but apparently by circumstance that raises serious questions about internal family dynamics and the cold institutional machinery that treats royal children as assets to be managed rather than individuals deserving of equal love and attention. Sources close to the palace suggest that Sofia was fulfilling educational commitments abroad when her birthday arrived, but the timing seems suspiciously convenient for a family that could certainly arrange schedules to ensure both daughters received comparable treatment on such significant occasions, and the lack of any substantial official acknowledgement from King Felipe and Queen Letizia speaks volumes about priorities within the modern Spanish monarchy. The psychology behind treating siblings so differently within royal families reveals uncomfortable truths about how monarchies function in the 21st century, where the heir receives everything while spare children are systematically marginalized, their accomplishments downplayed, their milestones ignored, and their emotional needs considered secondary to the institution's focus on maintaining clear succession lines. Princess Sofia has grown up in her sister's shadow not because she lacks talent, intelligence, or worthiness of attention, but simply because she wasn't born first, an accident of birth timing that has determined every aspect of how she's treated by both her family and the institution they represent. Social media erupted with criticism when details of Sofia's solitary birthday emerged, with thousands of Spaniards and royal watchers worldwide expressing outrage at the apparent callousness of allowing an 18-year-old to mark such an important milestone without family present, questioning what kind of parents prioritize royal protocol over their own daughter's emotional well-being, and demanding answers about why the Spanish monarchy seems incapable of treating both princesses with equal respect and dignity. The backlash has been fierce and sustained, forcing uncomfortable conversations about whether modern monarchies have any place in societies that supposedly value equality and fairness, because if a royal family can't even treat their own children equally, what does that say about the institution's fundamental values and its relevance in contemporary Europe? Digging deeper into Princess Sofia's life reveals a pattern of being overlooked that extends far beyond this birthday controversy, from receiving less prominent positions during official events to being excluded from important royal engagements that her sister attends, from minimal coverage of her academic achievements to absence of the kind of institutional support that shapes Princess Leonor's public profile, creating a stark divide between the experiences of two sisters who should theoretically both matter to Spain even if only one will wear the crown. This treatment isn't unique to Spain, as royal families across Europe have long histories of favoring heirs while neglecting younger children, but that doesn't make it acceptable or any less damaging to the individuals subjected to this systemic inequality. The institutional argument claims that focusing resources on the heir makes practical sense because she's the one who will eventually represent Spain as queen, but this logic completely ignores the human cost of treating children as functionally unequal based purely on birth order, creating family dynamics rife with resentment, psychological damage from being perpetually deemed less important, and public perception problems when citizens recognize the unfairness of the situation. Princess Sofia has handled her secondary status with remarkable grace and dignity, never publicly complaining about the disparate treatment, maintaining a composed demeanor during the few public appearances she's allowed, and pursuing her education and interests despite receiving a fraction of the support lavished on her sister. But grace under pressure doesn't negate the fundamental injustice of the situation or excuse the family's failure to ensure both daughters feel equally valued. What makes this birthday situation particularly egregious is the timing, because 18 represents legal adulthood in Spain, a threshold crossed only once in a lifetime, a moment that deserves recognition and celebration regardless of one's position in royal succession. Yet the Spanish royal family couldn't find it within their institutional priorities to ensure Sofia experienced this milestone surrounded by family. The message this sends is devastating not just for Sofia personally but for any young person watching who might already feel overlooked or undervalued in their own families. Seeing even a princess treated as expendable when she's not first in line reinforces harmful ideas about human worth being conditional on status and utility rather than inherent and equal. Palace insiders who dare speak anonymously paint a picture of a family where protocol and institutional concerns consistently override personal relationships and emotional needs, where King Felipe and Queen Letizia have become so consumed with managing appearances and maintaining the monarchy's stability that they've lost sight of their fundamental responsibilities as parents, where Princess Leonor receives every advantage while Sofia must fight for scraps of attention and recognition, creating a dynamic that inevitably breeds resentment even among siblings who might otherwise be close. The psychological impact on Sofia of growing up in these conditions cannot be overstated, as research consistently shows that children treated as less important than their siblings experience lasting effects on self-esteem, family relationships, and overall well-being. International comparison reveals that other European monarchies have managed to avoid such stark preferential treatment, with countries like Sweden, Norway, and the Netherlands making efforts to publicly acknowledge and celebrate all royal children regardless of their position in succession, recognizing that modern audiences expect families to treat children equally and that failing to do so creates public relations disasters alongside personal family dysfunction. Spain's approach seems increasingly outdated and tone-deaf, particularly for a monarchy already facing questions about its relevance and value in contemporary Spanish society, because allowing Princess Sofia's 18th birthday to pass with such apparent indifference provides ammunition to Republican critics who argue that monarchies are inherently unjust institutions incapable of adapting to modern values. The silence from official palace channels regarding the birthday controversy speaks volumes about their strategy of hoping the issue will simply disappear if ignored long enough, but social media age dynamics mean that public criticism sustains itself and amplifies over time rather than fading away, forcing eventual responses even when institutions would prefer to maintain silence. Princess Sofia deserves better than being the forgotten princess, the afterthought daughter, the spare child deemed insufficiently important to warrant equal treatment on life's major milestones, and the Spanish public increasingly recognizes this fundamental unfairness and demands accountability from a royal family that exists because of public support and can only continue existing if that support remains strong. Looking ahead, questions multiply about what this treatment means for Princess Sofia's future relationship with her family, whether she'll maintain ties with an institution that has consistently devalued her, what kind of role she'll choose to play in Spanish public life given the lack of support she's received, and whether this birthday controversy might finally force overdue conversations within the royal family about treating both daughters with equal respect and dignity. The Spanish monarchy stands at a crossroads where maintaining outdated protocols and hierarchical thinking increasingly conflicts with public expectations for fairness and basic human decency, creating sustainability questions that extend far beyond one princess's birthday but find their most visible and sympathetic expression in the treatment of an 18-year-old who deserved so much better than she received. Do you think the Spanish royal family will ever acknowledge how badly they've treated Princess Sofia, or will they continue pretending that everything is perfectly fine while one daughter gets everything and the other gets forgotten?